recap for Runday. So, um, I have not been sticking to my plan. I've been making an effort, but life has been, as always, super difficult, and I'm at my maximum. The micro system is designed to help you figure out what you want to do, how to help you actualize what it is you're trying to achieve in your life. And I started Runday so that I could consistently upload and consistently build a channel to describe what it is that I'm doing so that I could transition into consistently recording, which is why I'm doing this, because I was going to just leave and go run, but I should be recording regularly so that I can upload regularly, and I should be building the discipline of producing content within the chaos of my life so that I can start getting to a place where I can naturally generate content and upload it to the internet to build my channel. The two things that I should be doing that I have not started doing is I should be mastering 12 languages. I should be learning up to 11 languages every day, and it is the 15th, and I have yet to start studying again. I was studying when I was homeless on the street, and I went to Planet Fitness. And the day that I went to Planet Fitness, I sat down in the lobby and I started working out. I started working on the discipline to um, start studying the languages. The 10 languages. The languages I'm supposed to be studying are one second, I will be back. I had them. I shall return. It's not giving me the information that I'm looking for. Probably why. I know that's not. I gotta get downloads. I know what I can do. This should work. There it is. So these are the languages I built. I know you probably can't see them very well, but I built a structure for them. And they are English, Spanish. Well, I don't need to master English. I already pretty much mastered English. Spanish, Swahili. I think this is Hausa, Hausa. Malayan, Indonesian, Mandarin Chinese, Hindu, Dervirgini, Devangina. I don't know how to pronounce it. Persian, Korean, Japanese, Aramaic, Thai, the Thai script, Thai, and that's it. That's all of them. Those are the ones I'm supposed to be learning. My capacity to spell is built on the foundation, and it's one of the reasons why I say that why I put the video out. Like, if you're not using ChatGPT, you're wasting your life, because my inability to spell is a direct consequence of going to school in a white environment and having my teachers, when I was in elementary school, make me memorize the words instead of teaching me phonics. They taught all the other kids phonics, but they didn't teach me phonics. They didn't give me a foundation of phonics. They just made me memorize the words. And I remember looking over to my right at the other kids and wondering, like, what are they doing over there? And the teacher's like, don't worry about what they're doing over there. Just sit here and write these words out. And so I was following the instructions of just writing the words out. And so now that I'm in my 40s, without a foundation of phonics, without reinforcing that foundation of phonics, I don't have the capacity to realistically infer information from the characters because that's not the foundation that I was given. As an adult, I'm expected to like, well, you shouldn't make excuses. There's always time. There's always an opportunity for you to learn how to spell and figure things out and grow and evolve. But the thing that the average person understands is that the level that I currently spell at is the direct result of me doing that. When I was in my 20s, I realized I graduated from high school. So when I was in my 20s, hey, what's going on? So when I was in my 20s, there came a point when I was just kind of like, because I wanted to be a writer, and I'm like, I don't think that I spell as well as I should. Because how do you, when in your own ignorance, how do you know if you're competent enough to do something at the level you should be able to do it at? So I didn't really have a way to know that my spelling level wasn't as high as it should have been, especially when I have a high school diploma. They gave me a high school diploma. They put me in creative writing when I wanted to go into engineering, and the high school gave me creative writing. I wanted to do engineering. They gave me creative writing. I am now being a creative writer as an adult, but it's like, how do I know as a child what I'm supposed to be doing, what level I should be at, and what I need to do, right? So at the age of 14, 15, and 16, I wasn't given the foundation that I needed, which is why I don't like academics. The academic system is not designed to help you be intelligent. The academic system is designed to make sure that you are compliant. They want you to be obedient, follow the rules, don't question authority, fall into compliance with society, and that's what we see all over society. The main focus of my 2 cents, hi, welcome to the stream. The main focus of my 2 cents isn't glamour and putting on a show. It's the realization that I came to that global connectivity means that when you see people protesting in different countries for different reasons within their local government, that's how we're supposed to be functioning, right? Social media has connected us globally, which means that everybody, right, as a human group, we can universally, as a human group, all protest the same bullshit at our local level universally. All right, like as an African American, I don't want to have to be discriminated against when I'm walking down the street because of my skin complexion. But what is the core value? I don't want to be discriminated against, right? So if I don't want to be discriminated against in general, hi, welcome to the stream. If I don't want to be discriminated against in general, that's a universal thing. But we are divided based on you're European, so you're superior. So, the African Americans are just complaining about their low quality of life and they're not making an effort. They're not doing enough. But you are also European, living at the lowest level within your society, in your community, and you're struggling and you don't understand why you're struggling. But inequality is inequality. Being told that I know you have a bad life, but you're not African American, so you should be grateful, is not the correct answer to the question. Like, it's not the correct answer to the question. Every group on the planet has a low class, a middle class, a high class, and an upper echelon of elites. Okay, why do we have to have in 2024 poverty, impoverished people, not enough resources, struggling, barely able to live and suffer? Why? Why? If we have the technology to put humans on another effing planet, why are we still engaged in the same level of BS that we were dealing with in the 1900s? And this system of inheriting the bullshit of the ancestors that came before us and giving that to the children as if it's a birthright needs to stop. And that is the core foundation of what these videos represent. It just needs to stop. There's no need for it. It is not necessary. And the Microsoft Life Systems, the goal of that is to unify, not necessarily the goal of what I'm trying to do is trying to reach the entire planet and talk to everyone. That's never going to happen within my lifetime. The goal of the Microsoft Life System is to make a change fundamentally in the way that we all interact with each other. In the 90s, I watched Rodney King get beaten by the police, right? I watched it on screen on TV of Rodney King getting beaten by the police. Before the Rodney King beating, Emmett Till, the young African American that was murdered in the South and lynched and hung and killed, that happened. That happened. They argued that in the Rodney King case. And I remember even as a young child, when the prosecuting attorney, the Caucasian prosecuting attorney, he said that this moment will determine moving forward what will happen for the rest of society. This one singular moment, this one singular decision will affect what happens as we move forward. So when you see this video of this Caucasian woman that got shot and murdered by ICE agents, and everyone wants to be an uproar and an outrage, hundreds of African Americans have been being murdered since the times of conception. Like, it's been happening so much that that was always what was going to happen. And every time we individually sit back and feel like it won't happen to me, so I shouldn't worry about the group, is the opposite of civilization. What's best for us individually at the sacrifice of your desires sometimes is what's supposed to be good for the group. The minimum for everyone is supposed to be what we all sacrifice to be able to have equality. And that's not what's going on. And that's the part that the average person doesn't want to understand. The elites get more than they need so that the average person can't have enough. Why should 2 or 3,000 people have more resources than they need at the sacrifice of hundreds of millions? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense logically. There's no need for it. There's no reason why. Let me put it this way. If the average person needs 1 cup of water, right? And let's just say 1 cup of water for simple numbers is 100 units. It doesn't make sense for 1,000 people to have 200 units of water when 100 million people only have 1 unit of water. It doesn't make any sense. Those numbers logically don't make any sense. Like, they just don't correlate. And it's really difficult to communicate information at this level because the first thing people want to say to me is, you don't know how to spell. Of course I don't know how to spell. The system was designed in a very specific way for a very specific reason. And if you can't understand that, or if you don't want to recognize that, that's fine. But for those of us that can understand it, and for those of us that do get it, we need a universal format that we all can come together on to get shit done, right? The whole point of the Microsoft Life System is, how do you actualize your individual goals and your individual desires? How do you achieve what you're trying to achieve? Society wants you to do with, like, a perfect example is at work. One of my coworkers, she gave them her 2-week notice. They were upset that she wasn't coming to work on time. She wasn't coming to work on time because of her life. Whatever her life is, it was negatively affecting her capacity to get to work at the time they wanted her to get there. What is one of the things that I have? My own clock and my own calendar, right? They could have just simply said, hey, this person typically comes in an hour late every day, so let's schedule her to work 1 hour after everyone else to work with her within her own schedule, right? But if they did that, then everybody would have the right to come to work whenever they want and leave whenever they want. And that level of chaos doesn't work in a working environment, which is understandable. The unnecessary projection of the unnecessary projection of forcing us to do what we're supposed to do in compliance to a job, they put pressure on her. If you keep coming to work late, we're going to fire you. We're going to terminate you. You're going to lose your job, right? They kept using that negative influence as a motivating factor to try to get her to understand the importance and the seriousness of her coming to work on time, right? She got another job. She took the time to find another job, put in her 2 week notice, and then the first thing that they said to her was, "Oh well, we didn't really mean for you to quit. We just wanted you to come to work on time." Well, now she's not gonna come to work at all because they're the same value, right? If you let me go because I can't get to work on time and that negatively affects my ability and my livelihood because I'm making an effort, but you don't understand I'm making an effort. If you terminate me, it's the same value as me quitting and getting another job. It's going to pay me more money anyway. So those are the two. That's like the dynamic of how life works. It's not necessary to pretend like you care and then approach this person pretending like you care, opposed to actually legitimately trying to understand what's going on. They could have just had her come in an hour later and leave an hour later, but that would require other people that want to do the same thing the freedom and the privilege to do the same thing. So we create these unnecessary BS systems. We don't have to do that. It's 2026. There's no need to behave that way. So I could rant and rave forever. I need to do my run. I need to go out here, get this run in, so I can come back and start doing the other things in my life. I'm going to try really hard to start studying these languages. By the end of the year, I should be proficient at the first grade level in 12 human languages. I don't know if it's realistic, I don't know if it's possible, but the principles that I'm outlining in the Microsoft Life System, if I apply them, I should be able to raise my general knowledge of education from no experience in those other languages to at least the first grade level. So if there's no questions for me, that's it. As always, my name is Paul Emerson, and I've given you my 2 cents. Appreciate you guys coming to the stream. I want to show Facebook. This is what I always see. This is what I see when I stream. The stream went up to like 20 people, and then when I leave it,